Get the
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special presentation on this very special day with my very special friend, Amara Charlyne of AdarsaShridevi.com, Elemental Feng Shui Design. Welcome back, Charlyne.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And let's say it. Tell us how to say Happy Chinese New Year properly.
The one I know is Gung Hei Fat Choi. And
Gung Hei Fat Choi.
And that is Cantonese. And the Mandarin one is it's got X's in it, and I don't know how to pronounce it. So
okay, Gung Hei Fat Choi, everybody. Woohoo!
Yeah. Woo.
I got my bright red sweater on today in honor of, and I had to put a sweater. You've got your earrings, your red earrings. I had to put a red
tropics.
Right? I had to put a red sweater on because it's freezing. We had our first snowfall here today. So the element of fire is so welcome in my life at this time for so many reasons. So we've got a lot to talk about today, folks. We're going to try to keep it succinct because a lot of information has already been circulating on the internet. And I think we're going to start by talking about this phenomena because I have to tell all of you, Charlyne has been doing these Chinese New Year events all the years I've known her. And we were just trying to figure out how long this goes back. We're at 27 years now. And she's been doing these annually in all parts of the world. I've attended several of her events over the years. You know, she has literally decades and decades of integrated experience working with Chinese New Year, the transition between the elements and the animal signs as we go through that 12-year cycle of the Chinese zodiac. And I want you to take a moment, Char, and speak about how this year is blowing your mind from an almost 30-year perspective in terms of the amount of information, the amount of excitement. Have you ever seen anything like this before in your almost 30 years?
No, there was a lot of excitement around the Metal Dragon year, and I happened to be here in Costa Rica doing a presentation at a restaurant. My children were, that was like 27 years ago. So that's when I went back to 27 years. I think my husband and I hosted our first Chinese New Year's party 31 years ago. And it was just like in the middle of January, so let's have a Chinese New Year's party. And so many people came. It was crazy. And after that, I started to do presentations. And that presentation especially was the year 2000 for one, which is very momentous. And it was metal. So it was golden. I meant to wear my golden thing today, but I didn't. It was the Golden Dragon, and it was really well attended. I had friends from Nelson pass out invitations. So when I got here, it was a week later, we had so many people come and attend that event. And then I've been just doing various things over the years. Sometimes it's a big presentation, sometimes it's small, sometimes it's a party, but it's always like it's ceremony and celebration. And the last couple of years, it's not been so because I've been in Costa Rica last year, I was recovering from a knee surgery, so I couldn't host anything. And this year it's been more about like just internalizing and getting ready for it. It's like hosting something in a year like this, it's just like, it would just have taken too much. I'm also in the middle of building a house. And so and my daughter just left. So there was just too many things. And I'm like, I woke up, I think at 1 this morning, and I kept writing. I went back to sleep at 4 and was up again at 6 and went to the beach for the sunrise. And talk my own intentions. I took 10 because every new moon, it's really good to write down 10.
Yeah. So Char, I'm just going to direct you here to, like we've got some comments coming in, and already the excitement in the air around what's possible for all of us in terms of walking away from that energy of the wood snake. So we've had 2 years of wood. And as I was kind of making my juice this morning and getting ready, I was really contemplating this analogy of almost like all this wood, when you go and clear the wood lot and you prune back everything and you gather all the dead wood and make a big kind of bonfire burn pile.
Yes.
And that was the indigenous way, right? Like people actually cleared the forest so that the dead wood didn't become a tinderbox in the forest.
Right.
And we've been talking about even these last 2 years of all this wood energy, right? We had the snake last year. Oh gosh, it's wild to say last year. I'm so glad to say the snake is last year.
And the
we
dragon
had
the year before.
the dragon the year before. So all this energy of like all the stuff that needs to be burned away.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, I think, have felt anxious coming at the end of the snake year. Like, it isn't done. I've still got so much to let go. What do I do? What I was shown visualizing is this big pile that's now going to get burned.
Mm-hmm.
But that is both beautiful, it's purifying, and it's also, you want to warm yourself around that fire, but not throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
So what is different, I think, about this presentation, folks, in terms of what Char and I are going to be looking at is Charlyne has the most incredible perspective with her elemental Feng Shui. And if you haven't tuned in with us before, I'm just going to share a couple of things that Char has done in her long, amazing career. One of those things is she's written this incredible book called Elemental Feng Shui. You can find all the links below. So there's a link to actually where you can order this book. I have a copy of it. Oh, I should have had it ready in my hand. I have actually a couple of copies of it. And her approach to working elementally with Feng Shui, with geomancy, with 9-star key astrology, Chinese astrology is, I think, so poignant and important at this time. Because we can have all this information, but really what we're doing is we're working with the elements and coming into like using the gift that the element brings, but also bringing balance to it, not just diving over the deep end with it.
Yeah, and
so
I've just
tell us, like elementally, what's this year?
Elemental Feng Shui is also like all one line. Elemental Feng Shui is my. You can go find me on Instagram, and I've been releasing little videos every day for like weeks now, and I'm talking to you about the elements and about what I'm going to be teaching, and why it's so important. Because in my study of Feng Shui, as an interior designer, I have a degree in interior design. Feng Shui came to me as like, I've been doing this my whole life. So it just got deeper and deeper. And of course, I was like all about the visuals. Then I went into the energy aspects. But my master, who I discovered 7 years into Feng Shui, the master that has really informed me the most, he brought us back right to the basic elementals. And it's the basis of all, power and healing modalities in Asia, be it Kung Fu, Chinese traditional medicine, Tibetan healing, Feng Shui, Qigong. It's all there. And we take the element air and we split it into metal and wood. Now, I talk about all that, and there's lots of little videos you can pick up on there. So the 5 elemental theory is about the 5 elements and how they work with each other in a like a parenting cycle, and how they attack each other or can. So that can happen to us personality wise. And I just posted a video about how my 18-year marriage transferred into an 18-year friendship because of understanding the elemental balance. And of course, we're in a fire horse year, and it really made an impression on me, like when I was studying it, because this is my first fire horse year I'm experiencing. Because you're 60 years old, it takes 5 times the elements times 12 signs to get to the 60. So I have friends that are turning 60 this year, a couple of guy friends, a couple of women friends, very dynamic people. And what really struck me was that they practiced a lot of birth control back in the day. It's changed because they couldn't marry fire horse women in Asia. They were too independent, too strong, too dynamic to get a husband. So now this has shifted. And I think what's going to be important for us to know this year is the power of the feminine coming forth in a way in Asian astrology. and on the planet that has never really had this kind of double fire behind it. And the reason I say double fire is that the horse lives in the south area on the zodiac. So the base element of horse is fire. And we're coming into a fire horse here. So if you're 12, 24, 36, 48, or 60, you're a horse. And they all have a different element. So that's how it works. Every 12 years, the element changes. And we have elements. We have the same element for 2 years. So we're going into the fire horse now. Next year, it'll be the fire goat. And then we'll go to the next element, which is earth. So it's really important for me in my work to be have a master after studying it for 7 years, and then finally having a master really starts to point out, even in my environment, where the earth sits and where the wood sits and where the metal sits and where the water sits and where the fire is. Always in the front. It's always the view, right? So fire is very dynamic. It leaves an impression. So people that have fire energy in the 9-star key or Feng Shui astrology, doesn't matter who they are, walk into a room, you'll notice them. It has a dynamic presence, and it needs wood to combust. So what you're talking about initially about that pile of wood is going to now combust. And the snake was our kind of warning year. It was not an easy year for many, but it was preparing us for how fast and how dynamic this year can be if we're ready personally to go forward with it. Now, because it's so dynamic and fast moving, what I'll caution people about is that everybody, first I'll say horses have a very strong intuitive sense. Now, they may jump the gun a bit. They tend to do things without doing their due diligence, so they can get in trouble. But if we can hone into our our intuitive bodies and know when we can just sit still and watch all that's going on this year, and know when we jump in, we have to be careful not to be going full tilt ahead all year. It will just not benefit us because we'll burn out. There's a lot of things around stomach issues, because it's gut feeling, stomach issues, intuition. It all comes from like the Tien or the Hara. It's very important to watch diet and all of these things that keep us from stress-free, which is one of the biggest killers. So my daughter informed me when she was here, like stress is, there's a lot of different things out there that can be really bad for our health, but stress is one of the worst, especially in these days. So the fire element, it's a double fire year. So it's going to be twice as fast. We have to know when to get off the Ferris wheel and take a break and watch.
Yeah. So as you're saying this, and you brought up so many points, Char. I was like, wait a minute. I want to talk about that more. Let's go back. And yeah, let's just take one small segment at a time. Let's go back and look at, I want to touch in again. You mentioned briefly about this aspect of the Asian, the long historical perspective in Asian culture, that a woman born in this year was challenging because what I'm hearing you say, it was challenging because she didn't fit into something that was easily domesticated, i.e. a marriageable.
Typical marriage.
Yeah. So choleric and also wild, right? Like the wild, free aspect. I think of horses as an archetype, to me, represent our wild, instinctual, free nature, that they have so much power, and they also can turn on a dime, and they really respond with all their senses. They're always very aware, right? They're very aware of what's going on around. That's why they startle so easily, because they're like, oh, something's off. And then they get away from what doesn't feel good. They gallop like the Dickens to get away from what doesn't feel good. So if I think of the metaphor of this year, we're galloping like the Dickens to get away from the things that don't feel good.
But we have to know when not to. We can't be reacting all the time to outer stimulus, which is the That's the thing about the double fire. It'll keep us on that, on point, like fight or flight. And we have to take a breath. We have to step back. We have to follow our guts. We have to really know what we're in line with and lead with. And that's why the shedding of the wood snake, which is like dynamic. Wood is all about spring. Fire is all about summer. Like I'm sitting here in Costa Rica in the heat. It's all about heat. It's about passion. It's about creativity. It's about where you're going in life. This is all the questions and things that we have to look at. So that fire horse energy in a female just couldn't be handled. And, they don't, fire horses don't like authority either. They will not succumb to things that do not work for them. And I'm saying everybody has to like filter and not run all the time. Like we may be startled and we may go a little farther away, but we really have to know our energies and know when to go with it. And that's going to be more important for certain animals over other animals this year.
Okay. Now I wish I had your book in front of me, but when I read your book, and have referred back to it many times, I noticed that you had, the elements and what kind of counteracts or counterbalances one element. So if we are finding ourselves overwhelmed with electrical, nervous energy, the heat, that startle reflex, the nervous system, the gut, what are the I want to say the elements that balance that or bring that back into?
It's kind of hard to say because water puts out fire, but that's like, when I first met my master, I was like, yeah, in a room, if you got too much water, then you use earth to like tamper down. He's going, no, that's the big guns method. You want to have the parent of that element come in and help it. Now, the parent of this element is wood. So
the parent of fire is wood.
Well, we need wood for fire. We get earth from fire. So that's the child. The parent of metal is earth. The parent of water is metal. And the parent of wood is water because we need water to get wood going. Wood gets the water, fire growing, and then it gives us earth, and then the earth we get metal, and then metal melts like water or forms a chalice or like a container like I have here to hold water. So that's a conductive parenting cycle. But we have like fire can melt metal. Metal cuts wood. Wood abuses earth or has its way with it, absorbs all its nutrients.
Uproots it. Yeah.
Earth, on the other hand, will tell water where to go, and water will put out fire's glow. So that's what we can call the control cycle. And these two, there's always this balance. So when you have, what I would say is that both the wood and the earth around fire is the perfect triangle. And that's what we need to be grounded. We have to pull in the energy of earth to ground the fire.
Okay, so isn't that interesting? I love this because automatically when we think too much fire, I need a lot of water. But what you're saying is the water douses the fire. So we need the parent and child of fire to be kind of there holding it, which is the earth for ground, or the wood
for the
in
parent.
The earth.
So, and the child is earth. So it's like you have to have a nice,
totally.
That's why everything is like, there's always triangles. And that is the symbol for fire, is the triangle, especially when I'm using design, like furniture on angles, lighting, the color red. There's so many different aspects you can use in an interior to bring fire into a space.
Awesome. So let's now for a minute.
I work with everything as elementally, always. The people I'm working with, if I'm working with wood people, I know they're going to be like not really wanting to listen to me. So I have to, phrase things in a different way. Whereas I'm working with a fire person, they're feeding my earth energy and they listen to me. If I'm working with a water person, I have to temper myself because I don't want to scare them off. So it's really interesting. So I'm working with it personally. I'm working with it within a space. I'm working within in what even in what I'm talking about today in my predictions for each animal. Like if you're a fire animal, you're going to be doubly challenged and doubly like on stage this year because I'm a fire monkey and I know it's going to be just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whereas if you're an earth monkey, it's just like the fire's going to feed you. If you're a wood monkey, you're actually a wood animal, not just a monkey. If you're a wood animal, you're going to be drained a bit because that wood is going to be consumed so much through fire.
Wow.
So
Okay.
elements are, yeah.
So, and how people can find out, you know, obviously you can Google what year you were born in, and then you're going to know but you have to be very careful because you have to say what month, because if you're born before,
that's right,
like the month of January, you're in the year before and so on. But if you put your exact birth date in, you can probably find out pretty easily what is the element that you are.
You have to say element as well. It'll come up with whatever year, and it could be wrong if so you put in your birthday and you put in element of this particular year. And you'll be told, because today is the second new moon after the solstice. Every year it's different. Chinese New Year's is different. Whereas the 4th of February is the cutoff date for 9-star key or elemental Feng Shui astrology, because that is the first day of the month of the tiger, of which you are. So that's the first day of spring. We talked about this in our last interview. It's very important to know these 2 dates, very important. And it's also the midway point between solstice and equinox. That particular day, February 4th, or within that range.
Right.
Changes elements.
Okay. Yeah. So thinking about how we can support people to balance elementally, and you're saying we want earth and we want wood to balance out that fire, or to ground it, to stabilize it, which is so interesting, because when I did my overview for the whole year, which you can find over on Beyond Mystic, it's up there in the first show of the year that I did my forecast. I made it an overview for the year. And fascinating that there were 4 months in a row starting April. So April, May, June, and July of this year were all very earth-based pentacles, very like humble, grounded. It's kind of roll up your sleeves, get in the garden, work the land, be respectful, be like not
observant and honest, all these things.
Totally. Which is what you're saying when we got that energy of the fire horse, which we're like, I won't stand for this anymore, and I'm going to change that, and I'm going in this direction, that direction, and startling. We're going to, for those 4 months, April, May, June, and July, we're going to really benefit from grounding that fire, really grounding it. So would you tell us, would you tell us, Char, about the colors and some of the features of the 2 elements, earth and wood?
Well, wood is obviously green. You can see behind me this upward movement. There's a lot of things in your home that can represent wood, like tall lamps or tall high boys in your bedroom, things that are obviously made of wood. So things that are, moving upward, like we see in the springtime, the colors green, blue-green, emerald green, everything that's green is wood. Right now, that's all I can think about. Fire itself, earth. So earth is a square. It's an absolute square, 4 corners, center. It's like big, heavy pieces of furniture. All the earth colors, so you've got green, blue, green, very limited for wood, but in earth tones, it's like every earth tone, starting with, so fire is only red and red purple. That's it. Starting with your oranges and your pinks and your yellows and your taupes and your browns, and it goes on and on and on. So many different earth tones. Whereas the color white, you have to be careful. White can have an undertone of yellow, pink, so many different undertones to white. But white itself, the purest white you can get, is actually a metal color, along with metallic. So there's so many different things that we can look at that. But it's like, even if a piece of furniture is not heavy, if it looks like it's solid and heavy, it's considered an earth piece.
An earth piece, So not so much in the furniture realm, but in our lives, how can we call in, like, I'm guessing being around rocks, being around that frequency of the earth.
The colors, earth tones, like I'm wearing
earth tones. And then also with the, what was the other one? I'm gapping it. With the wood, the greens. So we're wearing a lot of those colors this year, and plants.
Plants.
And
Plants. Yeah.
so plants are perfect. And again, gardening. I just got, even when I looked at the year ahead and my last forecast on this channel, it was like, this is going to be a bumper harvest year all over the world. Gardens are going to do so well. And this is a way that we can almost like get into the whole concept of permaculture, live from a permaculture perspective, which is actually about designing things for not only the next 7 to 10 years. They're always thinking long term. It's always the long game. And also the next 7 to 10 generations. Right. So this year, we can take the power, the clearing, the purification of this fire horse, ground it into some really, permanent, long-term ethical projects around permaculture, land, farming. This is a year where we can take all that wild chaos that's out in the world and in the earth and the ethers and put it into real earth-based pieces that aren't just about, I got to get through this year and put stuff in my pantry. It's the long-term vision of years and years and generations.
And if you look at the elements around that whole process, here we are working with plants, growing things to eat, the wood aspect. We're working with the earth, but what is it in the middle? Fire. The passion we bring to what we're doing, the creativity, the vision of that's all fire. So it's like, here we are working with the plants. We have the fire as the vision and the earth as the receptacle. So they're the three elements always working in harmony with each other.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, now I want to take a moment and bring people over to this workshop that Charlyne is doing. Let me get it up on the links here, up on the card. So Char, tell us a little bit about this workshop.
It's using the elements, the 9-star key astrology. So when I was first doing Feng Shui and I was working with an elemental chart to find out what people had, what was present on the planet the year they were born, to know what they might be missing, I realized that I wanted to know who they were personally. And this is where I studied 9-star key astrology. 7 stars of the Big Dipper with a yin and yang star, Polaris and Vega. And it also sits over the Bagua, which is the Feng Shui map. There's a number for each one. So it's like a tic-tac-toe box. So, the symbol is the 8-sided figure is the Bagua. It's what we use as the map on a home or on a property or on a desk even in Feng Shui to determine where things are. Like, where's your relationship? Where's your fortunate blessings? So these numbers are also indicative of elements and personalities. So fire and water, most powerful elements, there's only one space each. And you can see in the little blue on the bottom, that's fire, that's water. Fire is number 9 on the top. Then we have 3 earth placements, and that would be the 2, 5, and 8 segments going right through the middle. We live on the planet Earth. We're grounded. This is important that we have 3 earth personalities. We have a male personality, a female personality, and an androgynous that kind of follows the other. Then to balance that out, like the Polaris and Vega, we have 2 wood personalities and 2 metal personalities, and they all work together. So I personally am a triple earth person. So I have the numbers 858. My principal number, my adult energy, my character number is a 5, which is like the center of the universe. I kind of like a giant radar screen when it comes to emotions. I can read a room, I can read people and energies very quickly. Then I'm also an 8 when it comes to what people will see. They see this grounded person. Now, some people have like 1, 3, 7 or 1, 9, 5 or something like that. So when you have conflicting personalities within yourself, it's something to work with. But if you're paired up with somebody, like you may be both wood people, but one has a metal aspect to that and one has a fire. So the wood could be feeding the fire, but the metal could be cutting that wood. So this is kind of the level of which I'm trying to teach people, is that you know, our relationships can benefit by knowing what we're dealing with and how to mitigate that. So in my family, for example, our daughter, who, you know, Tristan came in as a gift. My husband was double water, I'm triple earth, not good. But then our daughter came in as metal. So there we had the earth, the metal, and the water together as a tertiary, another triangle. So this is where, you know, knowing more about yourself and knowing more about the people around you. So I'm going to share with you through your own birth information who you are, how to work out a simple formula, and then how to work with others and see where you fit with your family, with your relationships, spouses, new boyfriends, new girlfriends, all of that. And this is the workshop I'll be giving 2 weeks from today. So I'm letting the whole energy of the moon building, the new moon, to like, boom, it comes in on the 3rd of March. And that's when I'm going to teach, because I'm just going to pull in all that powerful buildup. The last day of the 2-week celebratory period for the Asian New Year. I think it's a really great time to teach people something really dynamic.
Wow. This is awesome, Char. And I know I have benefited over the years from having consults with you privately around working with different numbers in different relationships in my family, friends, and so on. So this is, and it's such a good price. I think it's fantastic. So you can go directly to the link for this page where you can register. It's going to be live over Zoom, and that is a super offering. Thank you very much, Char, for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Doing follow-up. It's also a really good introductory if you're interested in Feng Shui, because everything relates, like all the numbers, the locations, the energies, the elements especially. So the more you learn about yourself, the more you can learn about the spaces around you, not just the people. So it's a really grounded foundation. It's only taken me 30 years to figure that out, you know?
Right?
I guess I've been sitting in the jungle heat long enough for like sparks and ideas and visions to come. So I'm very happy to offer this to people right now.
Okay, so let's sort of come into the final lap here. I mean, the other piece that I think about the energy of the horse is about the herd. You know, we're thinking about horses tend to be collaborating or running in a pack or a herd. And I remember years ago studying about, it was a guy known as the horse whisperer. And he was teaching about the herd mentality with horses. And I found it just so fascinating. But Chris Irwin is his name, by the way. I found it so fascinating that he said the leader of the horse herd was not the one that was toughest and ran the fastest and, you know, bit the hardest, kicked the hardest. It was the one that picked up on the most cues and noticed the most information and responded appropriately. So it was the horse that had its radar tuned in and responded to everything in the appropriate way. That was considered a leader energy.
And that makes sense to me in terms of horse energy, because, you know, you've got this, it's like a duality in a way. You've got horses that are like independent. They want to run and do their own thing. They do want to bring back the information they've gathered, all their knowledge, to the herd. They're very social. It really supports them. But the ones that take off and run away aren't the ones that are taking in all the information. The ones that are taking, like you just explained, the ones that are taking in all the information are the ones that are actually coalescing that group together in order for whoever's out there running the fastest, collecting the information to come back and how to filter it. So it's kind of like a catch-22. You know, horses are independent and they want to run, but they always come back to the herd, and they always make sure that they share. And that's one thing that I want to bring up that's really important about this year is reciprocity. It's so important, you know, like we're all like wanting to make money or get ahead or do something, but in a year like this, it's really important to share and help others and really move into that. And that's the passion of the horse. That's the fire energy of passion and dedication and commitment. So very beautiful to like move into that energy of reciprocity, because when you share to many, so much more comes back to you.
So I'm hearing the power of the collective. And that's what we've been hearing from the astrologers, you know, the Western astrologers. They're talking about revolutions, revolutions, the power of the collective, a herd of wild horses. You know, that's a common saying, a herd of wild horses taken off like a herd of wild horses. This year it's taken off like a herd of wild horses. And when I studied again with that horse whisperer, he said that, for example, if there was a predator come to the herd, a threat, the lead horse would give all the signals that put all the horses in their right position according to where the predator was. So, hey, the ones that did bite and snarl and kick and da-da-da were right in front.
Right.
The babies were in the back, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and then the protectors and the ones that would tell the babies how to move and what to do, they were right around the babies. So it was just this incredible social hierarchy organization, which is everyone doing their part, doing what they do best.
Yes.
And that's how they dealt with the predator. It wasn't like one horse just fighting and kicking and stomping. It was almost like a collective consciousness.
Well, and I really want to see what transpires this year in North America and around the world around that powerful collective conscious that will be the change, that will instigate the change. Like 60 years ago, this is when the social movements, the movements for the blacks in the southern states, the Vietnam movements, it all started to happen in the year of the horse. This is when that started to create its own power. Like few people, that came together and it influenced so many and then influenced a whole movement. Social rights.
What? Yeah, it's very, very interesting. You know what? I studied that movement a lot. I was really fascinated, in my younger years when I was learning sociology and cultural anthropology. I really was fixated on what happened in the 60s. It's such a model for collective consciousness, shifting reality. And you can see it was very dangerous to the elites and controllers that were trying to stop that, right?
That goes along with horse not wanting to succumb to authority, not doing and that's important for all of us, not doing something that goes against our gut feeling, our integrity, and then, it's not that we have to preach it, it's just the reciprocity will bring those people towards us.
And that was the thing in the 60s that really made that movement so potent, because yes, you had all of your protests going on at all the universities and everything. You had your draft dodgers heading up to Canada. You had all of, in North America, you had all of this revolution on the streets, but you also had a complete back to the land resurgence. And so the revolutionaries had somewhere to go and decompress. They had communes springing up everywhere. And yeah, I know it didn't really work as a sustainable thing, but that's because that's way back then, just post-war, the whole mindset of how to work together collaboratively. We hadn't developed the skills we've grown into since then. We were not evolved enough to pull that off then. We are now. We are evolved enough to actually do that back to the land thing and make it work.
The power of the feminine that's not being repressed anymore, that's actually being celebrated. That's
the feminine, that's the last thing I want to end on, is talking about how you and I both in different ways saw this whole energy that's emerging right now through our own work, our own spiritual practices, our own readings. We are seeing the feminine, the healthy divine feminine returning. Tell me how you're seeing that, Char, and how you see that could change our trajectory going forward.
Ooh, haven't thought about that, but I just know that it's there. So I guess I'll just kind of intuit how I see that happening. A couple of things about horses that's important to know that relates to this is like the fire horse women and fire horses will tend to jump ahead and do things and then get themselves in trouble, right? So there's a lot of drama around a fire horse. There's this dramatic aspect to when things go wrong and it gets broadcast and whatever. So the beautiful thing about that is that the feminine will bounce back. Like no matter how much it's pushed down or didn't do the right thing, or, you know, like there's always a big flourish around when a horse fails and whatever, you know, like it just creates that much fire, creates a lot of drama. And you can either be victim or you can be proactive. So I think that's the key right now, is that we don't want to buy into the victim attitude, which we've been learning for years. It's like, you don't have to be, you just go, I'm accountable and I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So it's about accountability across the board, whether you're male or female. And that's a very powerful, positive, feminine birthing. The power of birthing and creating life is creating it in a way that we're never going to be pushed down. We're never going to call ourselves victims. We're going to go, I am accountable for whatever mistakes I've made. I'm accountable for the drama I create. And so be it if I'm dramatic. So be it. I'm a fire person. I'm being noticed and I'm being a beacon. And so I think that's where I'm getting that like energy of the fire horse that can be so many different things. And just like owning who you are, being your beautiful self, being your authentic self. Authenticity is such an important thing to really, you know, dig into. It's like we all wear many masks. We all have, you know, we all play different roles in our lives. You know, the way I am with my daughters, not the way I am with you, is not the way I am with certain friends. But, you know, we can continue to just become more of who we are and even it out. So I think all horse women, men, like the ones that are turning 60 this year, or all the horses, if you're 12, 24, 36, 48, be aware that you can actually come into your empowerment, your power, by being authentic and by being accountable. And it's such an important thing to remember this year in terms of how that feminine can really just be like a loving hug. It can be dramatic. It's like, give me a big hug, honey. It's all good.
You know, yeah. Well, and there's a celebration that goes along with this, right? It's kick up your heels, get your cowboy boots on, and have a, you know, have a hoedown.
I have to tell you a funny story. I went to 2 events on Saturday night. First event was at a beautiful hotel, and it was like sunset. The color, you know, red. It was a beautiful sunset, but it lasted in the sky forever. And as I was dancing, I felt like I was dancing prayers into the earth. And I was watching the sunset go on for 45 minutes. I started taking pictures going, wow, that's bizarre. That was over, went from 5 to 7. I get in this nice big truck with some friends, put on my cowboy boots, put on my cowboy hat, and went to a Costa Rican rodeo. Absolutely the complete opposite of what I'd just been doing at this rodeo. And both things were just like, yeah, that's the dynamicism of horse energy, of male, female, of yin yang. It's like we have to balance everything this year. And I'm saying that so much, like in all my, one thing just keeps repeating, take care. Self-care is really important. Watch your gut, watch your gastro system. It's very important. Bring balance. Like it's going to be so demanding. You have to spend a lot of time and really, really take care of yourself. Like step back, but go forward. So this evening to me was just so funny. It was just, and with both, I loved both events so much, and they were polar opposites.
You know, I love it. I love the stop and go analogy. And, you know, Crystal and I had a chat this morning, one of our coffee chats that we have in the mornings. And we were talking about we're feeling personally and noticing collectively with our readings and what the astrologers are saying, that there's a shift away from that direct linear. I know that there's been astrological things for many years now that have put us on this path of, you know, we're driven, goal driven, results driven, like point A to B, which is the very masculine energy. It's a healthy thing for the masculine to be like that. It's like being a sprinter. There's a time to be a sprinter. There's a time to really be direct and go from A to B. We are now opening up to the feminine way, which is I don't just have one goal. I have many goals. And I'm not going to sacrifice all the other things that matter to me for a one goal focus. I'm going to meander and say, okay, I'm going to slow it down and I'm going to include this part and this part and this part. We're moving into this feminine energy of the healthy, multitasking, holistic, because we get a little bit lost in that direct go for it focus because we forget about all our other priorities, all the other things that we value. We get addicted to getting the goal, succeeding, winning, having the windfall or whatever. And the feminine
fairy tale of the double fire. It's like, make sure you're just adding a little bit of wood to the fire. You want it to burn for a long time, not just this direct burnout. You really want to foster the slow burn and pull it all in, like enjoy every moment of everything and do all these different things that you're talking about and see how they make you feel, because fire is heart-based energy. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's your triple heater, your circulation, and your heart. So a lot of things are heart-based this year. It's really to pull in that heart-based energy when you're feeling sad, lonely, taking care of your mental health, like reaching out to the collective. Very important to really, land in that place and do it as a slow burn.
I love this because I was fixated on that analogy of the big old bonfire, but that would be too much. And you've actually told me, Charlyne, about fire ceremony. It's something that you've worked with over the years. And I believe it's the Indian Vedic type of fire ceremony that you've worked with. And that is
First Nations. Yeah, First Nations fire ceremonies as well. Yeah.
And they are always about, like what they call a medicine fire is always very intentional. Each stick you lay, there's a prayer. Yeah. Everything. So you're letting this go. Then you're burning this away. Then you're taking that. Then your prayers are going up to the Great Spirit with each one of those. So we've got enough wood gathered that we can be doing fire ceremony for the next 2 years, really. We don't have to burn it all in one go. But you know what? It's going to keep us warm. And the warmth after all this water, we had 2 years of water, the water tiger. It's like, I just feel like we want that inspiration, that creativity, that feminine, like, let's sit by the fire and like warm up to the glow and
allow the heart to beat. Allow like really pouring emotional, well-being onto ourselves first and sharing when we're not there, like somebody else will have a piece for us. My daughter just went back to Canada. I said, bring the Costa Rican sunshine with you, spread it around. And I didn't even realize what I was saying until now. It's all about bringing her fire, her internal flame back into her work. And she's a forest firefighter. So there you go. It's not that she has to bring the fire, but she works with it constantly. And I wanted her to bring the internal flame of how much she loves this area and what she's doing here and creating her own home here. So very powerful and very endearing to know that it is about the heart. Very much about the heart. And it's about self-care. Proper diet, proper exercise, good routines. Because if we have that base, we know that we have a good routine, we know that we're going to ground out. That's the earth element, grounding us out so the fire doesn't take over and burn us out.
Wow. What a beautiful full circle. And I want to comment to all of you because I can feel, and I've been saying this for months, feeling this.
Yeah, the slow burn. I love that comment.
Cooking fire, yeah. I've been seeing this for a really long time, is that it's going to feel just like the gate opens and that fire horse runs, flies, leaps out of the gate and off to the races kind of thing. And I feel it. Like I can feel between Char and I, it's like there's this, whoa, we're all sort of talking over each other and everything. There's an excitement and we can just relax and know, I think after all of these last few years, we want so badly to bust out and be free. But we don't want to hurt ourselves doing that. So
and we don't want to hurt others doing
want
it.
to hurt others.
And we want to make sure that we have support. See, in a 9-star key astrology, the 9 fire person is the person that stands up and speaks for the collective. But without wood people to back them up, they have no support. They can't say it. So, you know, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, the Bush presidents, they were all 9 fire. They could get the message across. It's not like they were the masterminds, but they were the articulators of.
Well, they were chosen to be that.
Yeah, well, they were,
Yeah.
but that's the power they had. That's what they work with, is the ability to articulate and get ideas across. And that's coming up big time this year. Yeah. Look for those people that can articulate and get across, even if you can't.
Well, and that we're all going to have an aspect of that ability to tune in with the collective energy, articulate from our authenticity, because in the tarot, the number 9, and we're just coming out of a 9-year, by the way. So in the tarot, the number 9 is all about synthesis. It's all about gathering your own independent power. It's independence. And, you know, standing, it's the hermit, standing alone in your autonomy, in your,
the light going,
with the light.
Exactly.
But this year we're going into a 1. This year is a reset, a renewal. So we're craving it, but we want to keep that maturity of what we've learned in the wood snake year, which was the number 9, the hermit. We want to keep that, because the 10 in tarot, the number 10, which is technically a 1, is this guy. It's the Wheel of Fortune. And it is sudden. Everything can shift on a dime. Things can go up, so the markets up, down, up, down. Opportunity, open doors, closed doors, swinging doors. They're showing me like in the old Western movies, you know, those swinging doors. Like it's going to feel a bit like that this year. It's going to be off, on, wild, nothing happening.
There's a lot of adventure at stake, but there's also a lot of inner adventure. That's the thing. And that Wheel of Fortune is like good, bad, in between everything. It's like we have to embrace it all in order to be whole, right?
Yeah, totally.
Thanks.
Thank you, Solstice Sparkle. Share this out. Great information and energy. And before we sign off, I'm going to bring your attention here. So for those of you that are members on Eye of the World, and of course, if you're not, you can use the link below. There is a coupon code when you pop on. In fact, you can see it here, right down here in the corner. When you pop on that coupon link, that as soon as you come onto the website, you'll see a copy code button. And then when you go to sign in for your membership, the annual membership is normally $111 Canadian, but this 30% off gives you, I think it turns out to be 77 Canadian dollars, which in US dollars is like 50 something or whatever. That gives you access to everything on our website, all the courses, all the events. And it gives you the members marketplace, meditations, the blog posts, the e-zine. I mean, it just goes on and on. Discount on merchandise and services. So it's pays for itself like 10 times over. But I want to bring your attention to this Chinese Fire Horse year looking ahead. We've got, for members only, a virtual event. And that is Sunday, February 22nd. Here we go. So you don't actually have to buy tickets. You just go on to that button and click to register if you are a member. And here we are. Charlyne and I will be exploring the magic and potent activation of this Chinese New Year, welcoming the energy of the fire horse.
We'll be getting into predictions around the animals and the elements of each animal. Like it gets a little more in depth around who you are and how you can navigate better through the year. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward. There's several of you already registered for that course that are members. And if you want to come over and jump onto it, again, as I said, it's included free of charge with your membership. So come on over and join us. And any last thoughts, Shar? Of course, I know you said that if people want to find your predictions for the year, they can go to your website. I'm just going to bring it back up here.
Yeah, everything that I do, like weekly or monthly or whatever, it's always in the blog, because the website is older and I'm still working with it. I'm going to be shifting it up. But right now, while I'm doing a workshop or whether I'm commenting on the fire horse, you go to blog and it's like the most recent are on top. So you can go to the fire horse here and read about it. It's not finished because it's going to be in 3 parts. And I will be like reviewing and going to all the predictions later today. So they'll be posted also on Adarsha Shwedeva. And that's,
so we've got the links there below. Mm-hmm. And here's the blog page. I'm just sharing the page so people can see it. There is the year of the fire horse. And
if you hit see more, read more, hit that spot.
Okay.
Hit that.
Yeah.
Thick, and then it just goes all through different, what I'm commenting on in terms of the year of the fire horse. And yeah, it's got another one too. Yeah,
beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still working with the page. I mean, like I said, I woke up at 1 o'clock this morning. I'm like, I want to get up at sunrise, and I'm like, I'll just get up and work. So I'm just like having fun doing graphics, and in the middle of like building and having my daughter here and the heat, my brain turns off about this time. I'm sitting in a nice aircon room. I had to
good.
Place with that behind me. That's the ocean beyond those trees. So nice and cool here, because it is so hard for me to think from any time from like 12 o'clock until 4 in the afternoon.
I know. Shar and I were like going back and forth. She's like, I can't do it at that time. It's so hot. And I was like, I can't do it earlier. It's so, my hair is so wet.
So this is a great compromise to be in.
Yeah, a great compromise. And we wanted to put this show in, of course, at the time where Crystal and I normally do our live Q&As Tuesday mornings in this time slot. And we will be back to doing those regularly next week.
Just so happens to be New Year's Day.
Yeah, New Year's Day, right? So for those of you that are following us now, new to coming over to the YouTube channel or returning after not being here for a while, we're going to be having regular weekly content. So every Monday, I'm going to be doing a live forecast show. And every Tuesday, Crystal and I are going to be doing our live Q&As. We've been doing them for like well over a year now on Tuesdays. So you can tune in on a regular basis and check out what we're doing.
I just want to tell people the name of my YouTube channel is Radical Feng Shui with Charlyne. So
I believe that's down in the links. I think it's down in the links as well, honey. So yeah.
Great. And I do short little things because I'm like launching a new way of being on social media, and Elemental Feng Shui, it's on there. And then there's also videos. I think I have over 450 videos that I'm referring people to now that are 3-minute long info sessions on everything I've been talking about. You just have to scroll through.
It's like getting a free college degree in Feng Shui, and seriously, there's so much content over there.
That's why it's in 3-minute sound bites. Just like, okay, my head's, I'm done.
Yay! All right, everybody. Well, this has been absolutely lovely, and we will see you again. Shar and I usually over the course of the year do a couple of follow-up videos. We wait about 6 months till we're right in the thick of it, and then we go, where are we at now? What can we look forward to as the year progresses? And then another video closer to the end of the fire horse year where we'll be looking at the transition.
We've been doing every 4 months now, so that as it goes on, like we're talking about those months, we're talking about the animals that are influencing the months. There's so many different layers, but it's all fun and it's in the moment and what's happening right then and there. It's not too intellectually heavy, but it's just kind of fun, which I hope today's was for everybody. And thanks for joining us. I'm really honored, especially. Yeah, thank you so much.
It's been super, super fun. And so you can watch the playback if you didn't catch the live. And we will see you again very soon. All blessings. Gung Hoi Fat Choi. Happy Chinese New Year to everybody. Bye for now.